Hi there. Good evening. It's Lisa Loring. It's headset night. My daughter's watching a movie. So, it's headset night. I feel like I'm in like air traffic control or like I'm a pilot or something. I have this imagination that I could just get in a plane and fly it, right, without any training. But in truth, I think I actually have that attitude about a lot of things. Um, yeah, I discovered that recently. I don't know. I've always kind of known that about myself, but like, I definitely like to skip steps. Anyway, I've stopped doing that. For instance, like music. I was saying to my mom the other day that, I took up piano lessons last year. And this is the first time that I ever did music. Um, yeah, well, I taught myself the piano when I was really young, but not very well. And I gave it up and I played flute for like all of my high school, my grade school, high school, and in church as well as school. And I sang in choir. But I don't think I ever invested myself in the theory. I know I didn't, in fact, because some of this stuff is like brand new. And it's not a matter of it's been a number of years since I looked at it. It's really a function of the fact that I did not engage in the theory part of it that well because it just came naturally to me, like it was a natural skill. Um, but that being said, it was a natural skill for Mozart too, but he still had to study. Somehow that piece got lost on me. So there are things, there are things that that I realize I have missed out on by not being enough of a student, enough of a beginner's mind, and I think in truth it was just because I didn't want to look like the stupid person in the room. So therefore, if I knew how to do something, I just like kind of, put up this really big front about stuff. Resonate? Anyways, beginner's mind, that came up in the reading the other night, like being approaching things from a learning perspective rather than in that defensive kind of resistant to learning and receiving what's coming towards you. Because I think oftentimes we get into that defensive posture because of the fact that we want to seem like we have it all on lock instead of being vulnerable. I know, I know, I know, I know. I've made a mess of my life 9 times over by being that way. But also said a few days ago, once I learn something, once I figure something out, and I really get an understanding of it, I never do it again. Or if I do catch myself doing it, I'm the first to apologize. So, we learn. We learn and we grow. We learn and we grow. We learn and we grow. Okay. So there's me with my singing, making up songs. I did that for my daughter like her whole life. Still making up songs. Not very good ones. But they're songs nonetheless. Oh, anyways. How are you all this evening? I'm going to do the Terror of the Cat People again. I have a couple of other decks out here that might make an appearance. The Archangels. But I like the cats, and I also love how, like, all my cats. Oh, no, we're missing a cat. Oh, no, they're having a bath. You can't tell. There's 2 tuxedo cats. That's Vesper and Cece. They're giving one another a bath. Oh, yeah, there's. You can see 2 faces. They're being sweet. And then my Pete, you can't see him. He's a void. He's the black kitty. Chair. So since the cats are all here, we should definitely bring the cats again. I had such a good reading with that the other night. I got a little feisty. Sorry. So, and last night I didn't do a reading because I just got tired. I was going to come down after my bath, but I was just, I'm tired. I was in bed by 11 o'clock last night. Yay me. I'm going to almost make that mark tonight. I already practiced my piano. Wrote a letter to some friends. Stuff like that, and hit the hay after we do this. So tomorrow's Friday, because I didn't do this yesterday. Oh, July 23rd. Oh, it's the full moon. Yes, it's that full moon we've been talking about for like 2 weeks. It's a slamming full moon. Hey, I listened to Christopher Witecki, and I don't know, Dorothy Morgan, you might have brought this one up too. So this full moon, like some of the things that happened back in like the eclipse in 2017 and the eclipse in the moon in Aquarius back in August of 2017, the one that was visible from North America, the lessons from them, locking in now, 4 years later. Go back. What were you doing then? What was happening for you then? What have you seen germinate and grow and manifest then? And you know, if you've manifested something that you didn't like, you can always remanifest. Just saying. Now's a good time for that. Wherever you are at with that, whatever was happening then. Oh, and now we're fighting. Girls. Vesper's being very naughty. She keeps stealing all of Cece's cushions. Not good. Yeah, you can always remanifest. Whatever you were doing, go back to that time and either retool the thing, really look at it, like where you are, like what's not working, and look at I would look at what's working, and then grow more of that. Look at the assets. Okay, we already have one card. 8 of Swords, yeah, because sometimes we get into that mode. We get into that mode where we into that mode of what's not, we're so busy looking at what's not working and we're unhappy. Look at that frowny face. That we think that, nothing works. Not true. I'm going to put that one back. I'm going to take it that one. So there. That works that way, by the way. Because that came out because I was talking about things not working. Getting into a negative mindset. You're making your own jail. We are making our own jail. Did you know that? And in that card, he could just easily wend his way out of that. You could see that really wasn't much of a jail, but it can be seemingly so. Our thoughts can really, really trick us, right? Especially when an 8 of Swords turns into a 9 of Swords, and then it's those swords that are impaling us in the middle of the night kind of stuff. All right, so what's the energy for Friday? What do we have to work with for Friday, July 23rd? What do we have to work with for Friday, July 23rd? All right, well, there. What do we have here? The world. That's what we have to work with. I love that. And I love this world card. Let's look at that again. Check it out. Oh my God. Like I said, I haven't used this deck that much. That is an amazing card. Oh, I need to drop it. There's not even a cat in this. Oh, this person is wearing, and I love this. It's kind of like a hermetic deck. You can't always tell whether a person is male or female. This person doesn't care. This person is going all out. Take a walk on the wild side. That song came up earlier tonight in a playlist I was listening to while I was cooking dinner. Yeah. They're wearing a skin of a cat. Being a cat. Cats kind of they don't care. Cats do what cats do. Cool cat, Speaking of Aquarians, like the cool cats of the zodiac. They're like cool, everything rolls off them kind of thing. They give off that cool exterior. Pretty typical. That's a good vibe. I feel that vibe. Be a cat. Be a cool cat. Do what you love. Balance the world in your hands. What is the energies for Friday? Okay, back to that. 7 of Pentacles. So a different kind of 7 energy than what we've been dealing with. We've been dealing with the swords, right? Well, this time we have the Pentacles. Planting seeds. Be careful what you, look at, going back to how we started on this conversation, look at what you planted 4 years ago. Are you happy with how it turned out? Not so much. That's fine. What is working with what you planted? Cultivate more of that. Definitely cultivate your joy. The things that you love about what you're doing right now. And the more you work on that, the other stuff kind of falls away or it falls in line. So plant your seeds well. You know, normally a full moon isn't the time to do that normally, but you know what's really interesting is when I did the reading 2 nights ago, that moon card came up as more of a new moon kind of feel. Yeah, there's a little bit of a new moon feel about this, even though we're dealing with a full moon, which would be normally a time of coming to culmination and then letting things go. So what are you letting go? You know, like I said, maybe some of those things that just aren't working, you're not going to pay it. Sometimes we don't, it's not so much about letting them go. It's, I'm not going to pay attention to these right now. I'm letting them go in a way that, yeah, let that shit go. Letting it go in a way that you're giving it over to some, other kind of like manifestation energy to do with, because maybe the way you're working with it just isn't working, and you need to come at it from a different perspective. And stepping away from something is always the best way to let the thing kind of, create the life that you couldn't create because I think I've alluded to this a couple of nights ago, like a garden that you've overwatered. You've paid too much attention to. It's just, you've tended, there's no spice, there's no life to it. So let it go. Just give it to the universe and let the universe take care of it. And it'll come back in some other formation, some other, a way that is doable for everybody involved. It'll come back. It'll give people the growth. It'll give the situation, whatever, the growth, the breath to do what they need to do in their own space, in their own time. That's where, Okay, so here comes one more card. Queen of Swords. Yeah, be discerning. Be willing to step back from things. Queen of Swords has a great sense of humor, too. She's been there, done that. You can't tell this girl nothing. Well, that's not true. You can tell her stuff because she's all about transforming things. Goddess Bast. These cats really remind me of her. If there's any of Goddess Bast in the deck, it's her. Actually, the Queen of Wands is also one. But the Queen of Swords is, she's really got her own mind, and she uses her thoughts in a creative way. She's really receptive to hearing what other people have to say, which again is great creation energy and a great way to, really being receptive to, letting people do what they need to do and not being like, she's definitely that person who knows how to detach with love. She detaches with love. She's like, okay, cool, do your thing. Do your thing. And I'm doing my thing. And I'm going to just keep doing my thing over here and running my stuff, and I'm discerning and I'm parsing things out, and I'm using my thoughts wisely. I'm using my thoughts constructively, that kind of energy. Let's put the camera down so you guys can take a look at these cards. All right. So we'll turn them around because that's what it's all about. Yeah, so we have the world when we're in this kind of energy, when, we feel like we're on top of the world. We feel like we have, what's at the bottom of the deck, by the way? Knight of Swords energy is in here. So, as opposed to the Queen of Swords, this one's coming in with, like, he's, using his thoughts to create some kind of action. But it can be a very, it's a very, you have to be really careful. Like there's this panther. That panther is rearing up. This kind of energy is you have to really recruit this. I like that he's masculine, she's feminine. You need to really recruit the more feminine aspect of things in order to come at these situations with the kind of skillful discernment that the Queen exhibits, rather than a heavy-handed judgment, which this is somebody who's coming in with like a knee-jerk reaction to various thoughts. So instead of being thoughtful and then responding to situations, or just kind of stepping back and let situations just kind of unravel themselves. Like she's the kind of person that'll just like take the point of her knife and put it in, like say if you're looking at a tangle of like a necklace or something. Have you ever seen like a super tangly necklace, something really delicate? Like she'll use the point of that knife to gently kind of stick it into the knots and kind of tweeze it out, where and tease it out, where he's going to come in and he's got like even points on his horn. He's probably going to hurt somebody by the flying into the room the way he does. This is like the proverbial bull in the china closet. But surrounded by a couple of different things here. This Ace of Wands is passion. We've got the Death card as well, and here the Queen of Wands is also here in the bottom of the deck. So we've got a lot of, and then so we do have some, a lot of feminine energy to kind of, subdue this. So although the thoughts are, he has a lot of excitement and he has a lot of good ideas, he doesn't always know how to harness them. He's, definitely going out into the world to defend his thoughts, but, not always with the best skill. He's a knight. He is skilled to a degree, right? He's a knight, but he's not a queen. He's not ruling people. He's not that it's a little more of a masculine energy. But so at any rate, we have the world. We feel like we've got the world in our hands, and rightfully so. We've come a really long way. Look at where you were last year. Look at where you were 4 years ago. How much have you grown? Yeah, you've grown into royalty. You've grown into somebody who can, catch the world in its hand, toss it up, and catch it again. This isn't energy that's going away anytime soon. And the seeds that you planted, 4 years ago, we're continuing to look at this and be very decisive about what stays and what goes. We're starting to really, really exhibit this energy. There may be a little bit of, a little harshness going on. It may feel a little harsh, Knight of Swords. But the Ace of Wands is here that, there is a divine impulse behind what we're doing that will help us, instead of going into a hack and slash mode like the Knight of Swords, to put things in their proper place like a queen would do. Queen of Wands, and to follow, and this woman follows her heart. This person follows his heart. And again, I always caution you to remember that these aren't necessarily, you don't have to be male or female to identify, and everybody has these energies in them. The Death card is also here. So, some things are going to be cut away. But our heart, again, will tell us what, the things that break our hearts are going to be, the kind of behaviors we do that keep breaking our own hearts. Those are the kinds of things that are going away. And, the Two of Pentacles is here again. We're deciding this in the material. We'll eventually be deciding and manifesting this in the material world as well. So some things are being transformed. This is also a transformational energy, transformation of how we use our thoughts and how we apply our thoughts and how we look at things and how our attitudes are about things, our philosophies. That's the stuff that's absolutely changing. And when we do that, our world changes. We'll leave it at that. Probably entitle it. So I'm going to pull up from this deck called the Blessed Bee deck. Blessed Bee deck. I haven't read from this one in a really long time. This is Lucy Cavendish with artwork by Jane Starr Wiles. Wiles. I haven't read from this deck in a while, but it keeps coming to my mind in various other ways, due to other activities that I do during the day. And I felt like bringing it out to be our commentary tonight. So again, this reading is for Friday, July 23rd, full moon in Aquarius. Hey, like, share, subscribe. And on any of the formats where I'll post this, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and make sure it gets to anybody who's listening to this message. I don't care when you listen to it. You could listen to this. Bring some of these cards in there so we see them. You listen to this in 3 years, it might still apply. Right? If you're hearing it, you're needing it. Those of you who donate, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. If you want your own private reading, this is actually a reading for all zodiac star signs. But if you want your own private reading, email me at lisa.loring@gmail.com. lisa.loring. And, comment, all of that good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope these messages find you well. Yeah, so what's the message for the Blessed Bee deck? Commentary on Friday, July 23rd. Full moon in Aquarius. Yeah, that energy of the full moon and coming into Leo season. Happy Leo seasons. Happy birthday, Leos. This is our message right here. here. Yes, a blessing on a resolution. Again, look at that sword. You know, we are resolving to change the way we think about things. If nothing else, we are resolving to protect our hearts. We are in the season of Leo, which is all about heart. So a blessing on a resolution. Let me read from the book 27. And this is, again, an action card, an action number. 2 and 7 nets to a 9 and you know, action. So our thoughts become things. Our actions are starting to be driven by our thoughts, but we're getting better at corralling our thoughts in order to affect different kinds of outcomes. A blessing on a resolution. A blessing to bring respectful resolution to a troubling condition, situation, or set of circumstances. It is a sad truth of the nature of humans that instead of cooperating, we sometimes compete, believing that unless we can have as much as possible, we may walk away from a dispute or negotiation with less than we feel we deserve. In this circumstance, sometimes the unfortunate aspects of humanity are most highlighted. Our greed, our inability to come together and truthfully speak of our needs, and there can be manipulation. Within these circumstances, let us bring a blessing and ask for a higher power's will to take the circumstance and change it for the better. Remember what I said, step back. Step back. We step back from the situation in order to, you know, this is someone who steps back and just lets it kind of unravel on its own. These are the seeds that are planted. We step back and whatever's not working around you, just step back from it, turn it over, give it to a higher power. May there be a blessing on all concerned within this troubling time. This conundrum that has kept you awake and has you fearful. Remember that 9 of Swords energy I talked about? Didn't come out, but there we are. May all these involved see the beauty in a swift and easy solution which presents itself simply and in perfect timing. May the quarrels and the disputes become history and be learned from so that errors of judgment are never repeated. May all involved become their best self, devoted to finding a way through the puzzle pieces of peaceful resolution of a grievance. May any ill feeling be softly replaced with quiet optimism and a willingness to be open, honest, and understanding of all parties' true needs. May there be no more trickery, no more hiding, no more falsehoods, no more rancor, and no more fear. Let all those involved come to a respectful meeting and truthfully find a fruitful way to restore dignity to all. May your particular needs be more than met. May your expectations be unclouded. And may greed fall away from any who have sought to take advantage of these troubles. May none profit from the separations that have taken place, but may what is decided be fair and just, and recognize all that you have contributed for so long. May there be a blessing on every conversation, on every meeting, and finally, when you walk away from the table and all is divided in terms are agreed upon, may all brooding subterranean resentments be rooted out and purified, never to rise again. Let you be satisfied and make the most of this resolution and go forward freed from any burdens and uplifted and supported by what you have rightfully and honorably gained. Blessed be. What a beautiful card. I've never pulled that card from this deck. I've worked with this deck. It's been a while since it's probably been almost a year since I worked with this deck. I've never pulled that card. What a beautiful energy. That's Queen of Swords. That's Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords, and you know, with coming with heart, using our thoughts wisely, creatively, because that's the only way we come to resolution. And part of this too is, you know, I want to go back to that 7 of Swords energy that we pulled from the other night. You know, part of that 7 of Swords energy is the war that we have against ourselves. So when I said you were in your own bullshit, that is your own bullshit. That 8 of Wands. You know, we really, really tie our own selves up in ways that we're our own worst enemies. Or we can be our own hero just by changing thoughts and attitudes. And when you do that, like I said earlier, the things that are working will just continue to keep working and flourishing, and what's going to fall away will just fall away, or it'll fall in line and change with you. Welcome to the new world. Love you guys. Have a good one.